Surprise, surprise, it's raining. Actually, at this point, since I can't fly the drone in the rain and stuff, I'm actually more worried about things like the battery because it's been fully charged and it's just been sitting there. Like, I know it's supposed to discharge and all that, but usually I charge it and I use it up like the next day, and apparently I guess that's better to increase the lifespan of it. I know people are usually shocked at how many charges I have like out of the battery so far in terms of use, and I guess that's one of the reasons why, because I always use it as opposed to just leaving it in there like doing nothing. I actually have a ton to do later, so I'm kind of taking a time crunch, so to speak, just taking a stroll here. Although I guess from what I read today, it seemed like there's going to be a new drone coming out. This one says it's the V-Coptr Falcon, and it's the world's first V-shaped bicopter. I guess for most portable drones, things like the Mavic Pro is kind of the standard, it seems like. And every time like a drone comes up with that same type of design, everyone's like, copycat! Well, I guess this one's completely different in that sense, although does it really matter like to a lot of people in terms of how it unfolds? But what makes this one special? So that's what I was trying to discover here. This one says, a new drone for a new decade. Brand new V-shaped dual rotor propulsion system combined with proprietary tilt rotor technology and non-linear dynamic modeling and control algorithms enable 50-minute extra long flight time. That's a heck of a claim, 50 minutes to fly this? I mean, as they say here, basically it's the same size as most other drones in its category, and it flies for 50 minutes, and it has lower noise profile, so basically low noise propellers and stuff like that, which is always good, I assume. For things like the rotor, it says tilt rotor technology, sophisticated industrial design, non-linear dynamic modeling, and control algorithm empowers stable flight with high agility. And for the camera itself, it says it's basically a 3-axis mechanical gimbal, which is always good. I think that's pretty much the standard for these type of drones, right? And they're basically claiming this thing can go 7 kilometers in terms of transmission distance, so it's a lot of big promises for this thing. And of course, they show their own trailer and stuff like that to show off the drone. Although when I was looking at it, it almost seemed like it was CG created. Like it wasn't actually filmed like live or something like that. That's just from what I saw anyways. And I guess in more detail in terms of the drone specs, like it says here, it weighs 730 grams. Max wind scale resistant, grade 5. Operating temperature 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. I guess this thing has an internal memory too to store things like video. So it says internal storage, 8 GB max capacity of external micro SD card, 256 gigabytes. For the camera itself, it says the sensor is a 2.3 CMOS, effective pixels 12 MP. The lens is FOV, about 77 equivalent focal length of 28 millimeters, f2.2. The actual video resolution, according to this, seems pretty standard overall, like with the 4K and all that. Although what I couldn't find here is the bit rate, what this thing actually records at in terms of that, because that actually is a factor too, in terms of the video quality. Interesting name for the controller, the blast-off controller. It says max control distance 7,000 meters and battery time 2.5. And for the battery itself, it says the capacity is 4,500 mAh with a voltage of 15.4. It weighs 329 grams with a temperature of 0 to 40 degrees. And I guess this is the thing that's going to last, they say, 50 minutes. Does that sound about right with all these specs? And for the price of this thing, apparently it costs $699. It actually sounds pretty cheap, isn't it? Like for a drone and all that. It also made me wonder too, like, who is this company? And apparently it's not their first drone. It's the same company that made that hover drone. Although it's kind of funny because apparently they announced that Hover 2 drone, which they were crowdfunding, and they didn't release that yet, so that's kind of weird. To my knowledge, they're actually trying to make a 249 gram drone as well, but I guess we'll see. There's basically going to be a lot of different competition and choices in 2020, it seems, huh? And I guess the other random story I read was this one. It says $300,000 drone smashes into Johnson County lawn. A remote-controlled unmanned aerial vehicle crashed Wednesday afternoon, causing damage to a lawn and ornaments. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office said deputies and the Hills Fire Department responded to a UAV crash around 1 p.m. in the area of Bay Ridge Drive, not far from Johnson County Fairgrounds. This doesn't sound like any consumer drone. It says authorities said the 18-foot, 100-pound vehicle was valued at $300,000. The damage to the lawn and ornaments was estimated at $100. The UAV was a total loss. The vehicle had been piloted from nearby Iowa City Airport, where it experienced an equipment malfunction. While the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration are aware of the crash, crashes involving vehicles under 300 pounds are not investigated by the FAA, the Sheriff's Office said. Really? That's kind of interesting, but still, imagine having a $300,000 drone just crash in front of you all of a sudden. Like, where did it come from? And again, this isn't any recreational drone. That's a coyote. Well, that was unexpected. You can actually smell it too, like just across the trail here. I have to describe it, it smells like a wet dog that hasn't taken like a bath in a long time. I guess you just won't ever stop, huh, Rain? Huh, I guess it's time for the archive. Alright, see you guys later.